freeze.
Wow. Okay. And how many flavors do you have of Buggy Pops?
Wow. So they rotate. We kind of have the go-to flavors. Most people really love the traditional or the starter, the one that carries the story, which is a coconut cinnamon. Fan favorites are key lime pie, which has graham cracker crust in it, or maybe banana pudding with some Nilla wafer in it.
Oh,
And then we have some other real specialty flavors because I collaborate a lot with other makers here in town. So, for example, one of the flavors that I've recently made and made a very small batch is mango elderberry.
mm.
So I cut and peel every single mango, and then I cook down this elderberry syrup and I swirl it into the popsicle. So you're getting a mixture of this like orange and purple, and it's really cool looking popsicle.
Wow. Wow. Now, I know you said you're in Asheville, North Carolina, so that's pretty much where you can get it, is in that area. But where exactly can people get it when they're in that Asheville? Where can people find these popsicles? They sound so delicious.
Thank you so much. So we're fortunate enough to have many farmers markets in our town. So you can find them at farmers markets. You can find them at some wholesalers within town. You can also book a private event if you'd like to get your own. But I just love getting these popsicles into anyone's hands. So if anybody wants to, if they're in town, they want to reach out, I'll come and drive a few to your hotel room.
So I'm trying to picture you at a special event with your popsicles. Are they usually like weddings? And at the end of the wedding, all of a sudden here you come on your trike and then you're handing out the popsicles. How does this usually work when you're doing them at special events?
Everybody has something different. So, for example, you can have the tricycle at your wedding and it can be there the entire time or just show up for dessert time. But also, one of the options that in the summertime people are really excited about is just having a cooler filled with popsicles that their guests can enjoy. So, just like you would at a barbecue where you open the cooler and you help yourself to maybe a can of beer or a bottle of water, I will go and set up a cooler where you and your guests can just open it up and help yourselves to popsicles.
Speaking of beer, do you ever put a little booze in any of the popsicles?
So I don't put any booze in the popsicles, but I am fortunate enough again to live in a city where we have just about 40 or more breweries. And so I do collaborations. I recently did a collaboration with a brewery here in town where I made a grilled peach popsicle and paired it with one of their beers. And so you literally popped the popsicle into your beer.
Oh my goodness. What does that taste like?
It's deliciousness.
So you
It's
tried
just
it?
a little bit.
It's different.
Yeah, because it's very different. So it really was a popsicle that was complementing the beer. I mean, in the same way that you would have a glass of red wine with a steak, right? So it's the
Mhm.
same idea. But think root beer float without the root.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, how do you come up with these different flavor profiles? Because when you talked about that, the mango and how you killed them all yourself, all by hand, and you paired that with what flavor again was that?
Elderberry?
Elderberry. I mean, who comes up with mango and elderberry? That's unique. I love it. So I want to know how you come up with these flavor profiles. Are you testing this out on your family? How do you do this?
So I'm lucky enough to work in a commercial kitchen where everyone loves popsicles. So I do test a lot of things on them. We do have fails, just like anyone else. I tried to make a sweet tea one that did not go so well.
Really?
I'm still tweaking it. You lose a lot of
Oh,
the tea flavor once it freezes.
okay.
So I'm still tweaking it. I'm going to figure it out. I can't wait to have that popsicle. I think that'll be so refreshing in the summer, in any hot day. Who doesn't love sweet tea, right?
Absolutely. So I'm also trying to picture because I also feel like the sweet tea, the texture of it would be a lot different than say some of your other popsicles. So is that probably one of the issues you're having, trying to get that right texture with it as well as the flavor?
Yeah, texture is definitely something I'm constantly playing with. So that's why a lot of my flavors are milk based, non dairy milk based, because I do try to make sure I have different offerings for people who might be gluten free or vegan. And so it's, I play with all different kinds of profiles, but anything, fruit has pectin. So naturally it's going to be thicker. Some of the fruits, if you also cook them, think making a jam. The way you
Oh,
would make strawberry jam is very similar to how I make a strawberry popsicle in order to bring all that pectin out and make it all that mushiness that just really ends up making somewhat of a naturally creamy popsicle without it having any milk in it. So yeah, the sweet tea, I will have to play around with it and have to play with some of the elements and maybe introduce something else that would give it that texture, maybe more lemon juice and play around with the pH of it.